I have managed to not react to these videos for a very long time, but it's time, chat. It's time to pop my cherry and react to a shoe on head video. Oh, no. So it's, he was white. He deserved it. Let's experience the ride.
Wake up, maggot! It's time for your annual race war! Oh, you didn't want to be in a race war? Well, too bad. You're in one. Your
What a
skin
fucking
color
start.
is your uniform, soldier. Black people on this side, white people on this side, Italians. We'll figure it out
We
later.
exist.
Attention! Which one of you lily lickers mixed the white Monster Energy with the Kool-Aid pineapples? How many times do I have to tell you? No mixing. Now get suited up, soldier. You're heading into your first battle. The comment section of a Nick Fuentes Instagram reel. Godspeed.
That's gonna be so gay. You're not gonna come out without sucking a few
Hello,
dicks.
and welcome to another episode of I am your host, Shoe on Head. You may know me as
just like
Timu
me.
Boxy, or perhaps the woman who footmogged Hassan Pike.
That's actually how I know her. I know. I was like, is this chick Boxy like a decade ago? Apparently not.
Thank you. Thank you. I know a few of you have come here from that last video, so hello, new friends, and old friends, please say hello to the new friends. Do not scare them away. One of the biggest things that happened when I was gone was the conclusion to the Karmelo Anthony trial. Now, for those of you who are unaware, for those of you who have no idea what has been going on, don't worry about it, kid. No.
I like how the subtitle said kid, but it was kitten. I don't know how you'd avoid anything about the Karmelo Anthony trial. Like, I understand not knowing everything that, like, you know, people like Shu and I would, because like, this is what we fucking do, right? I don't know how you'd avoid knowing anything about it at all, though.
But what happened was last year during a Texas high school track meet, Karmelo Anthony, a 19-year-old student, and Austin Metcalf, a 17-year-old student, got into a heated dispute after Karmelo entered Austin's tent, which was like a rivalry school's tent. An argument followed, and then allegedly Karmelo said, "Touch me and see what happens," and so Austin shoved him, and Karmelo pulled a knife out, and yeah. Austin then passed away in his brother's arms. Court argued that that use of force with a knife was completely unjustified, that a single shove did not justify a deadly response. During the trial, jurors listened to witnesses' accounts of the events, reviewed video evidence, and after a few days, the jury—
And we found out so many fucking liars, bro. It was just lie town. Absolutely ridiculous. And once again, praise Sarah Fields for having to deal with all of that, for giving us testimony from inside the courtroom, for fielding all of these fucking threats from the Karmelo Anthony supporters. She has been amazing reporting on this situation.
We found Karmelo Anthony guilty, and he was sentenced to 35 years in prison.
Not enough.
And everyone accepted that outcome because they understand how the law works and they respect our justice system.
Say his name! Karmelo! Say his name! Karmelo!
Only good cracker is a dead cracker. Only good cracker is a dead cracker.
I don't have an opinion. I don't have an opinion here.
These kinds of face-to-face, emotion-rising, shouting matches really do no good.
Why the fuck does that guy have black woman secretary nails? The fuck is he doing? He's not gonna be able to fight with that shit.
In this video, we are going to discuss the insane reactions to the Karmelo Anthony trial, read some tweets, watch some TikToks, as well as debunk—
But whites are hateful. Yeah, whites are very hateful. We aren't going to just die. That's the most hateful thing you could do. Try to live.
a bunch of misinformation because I am just tired of seeing the same ridiculous regurgitated talking points repeated ad nauseum by hundreds and thousands of people, just
It's not gonna
believing
stop.
it as gospel, hyping themselves.
It's not gonna stop, right? Once again, like I've been saying throughout this whole thing, we still have to deal with people who are like, Kyle Rittenhouse went across straight lines, hands up, don't shoot, blah, 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 blah. They're not gonna stop lying because it works. And they don't need to stop lying because it works. The truth no longer matters to a majority of people. All that matters is how they feel and what they want to believe, unfortunately. And it's like, how are you expected to live peacefully with people who are living in a literal alternate reality where your existence makes them feel angry and your existence makes them feel like you should die?
Up into a race war. No, I am not kidding. That is how bad it is getting. Growing up, I was always told not to judge people based on their appearance.
True.
That it didn't matter what gender you were,
True.
what your sexuality was, didn't matter if you were short or tall or fat or thin. I was always told that skin color was not important. And it's not.
It's not.
But you know what is important? Your skin's health. So before we get into the video, let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor,
Sunscreen?
Henson Shaving. They found him guilty so fast right before Juneteenth. These folks playing in our faces. Carmelo's
Juneteenth isn't
only
a real
crime was
holiday.
not allowing himself to get beat down by a white man.
What the fuck?
Karmelo will get out of prison. That boy ain't getting out of the grave. If he
Gross.
kept his hands to himself, he'd still be enjoying his white privilege today. White people are not
His white privilege to be martyred in his own team's tent by someone who shouldn't have been there? The fuck do you mean by this, retard?
victims of racism. You can't be a victim of a system you created. Hey,
Saying that white people can't experience racism is how we got to this point in the first place. It is mainstream acceptable to be racist to white people. It is mainstream acceptable to levy any kind of discrimination against white people. There is an excuse for all of it. And the continuous dehumanization of white people by saying you cannot be racist to them perpetuates the worst treatment as time goes on. It will only ramp up unless it is made to be unacceptable to be racist to everyone. Again, I've talked about how propaganda works in ways that you don't even notice when it's working. That's how good propaganda actually works. It's bad when you notice it. It's good when you adopt it. When we were young in America and going through our schooling system, we were taught about racism and reverse racism. Reverse racism was when white people had people be racist to them. But it wasn't the same impact as regular racism. That's not true. That was the first point of indoctrination for all of us. And those of us who were able to wake up and understand, wait a minute, reverse racism doesn't make any fucking sense. Someone being racist to a white person isn't reverse racism, because that's putting white people up on a pedestal as if they were able to do something worse than someone being racist to them. There is no pedestal. A white person being racist to a black person is the same as a black person being racist to a white person. And communists have tried to redefine the word as prejudice plus power in order to make it so white people, even more so, cannot feel any kind of racism or discrimination. And this has been perpetuated. If you were able to understand that reverse racism isn't real, it's all racism, congratulations, you beat the programming. If you were unable to beat the programming, you fell through the slide of you cannot be racist to white people down to it is morally good to be racist to white people, which is where we're at now.
who can't find a job and still lives with your parents. Did you know you created the entire system we're in right now, and therefore it's totally acceptable to hate you and be racist towards you? This is the same stupid shit they say to men, like, oh, you created the patriarchy. Like, who the f are you talking about? Joe Schmo working at—
Men are the architects of society, and women are the maintainers. Without this, like, symbiotic relationship, civilization ceases to exist and anarchy starts ruling. So in a way, sure, you can say men created the patriarchy, but then also you'd have to give thanks to the patriarchy for creating all of the comforts you enjoy today. And I don't think feminists are ready for that.
Chipotle. It didn't create shit. The system isn't benefiting white people at all. It's not benefiting anyone except the rich and powerful. The racism equals prejudice.
I would push back on that and say that it benefits the poor. It benefits the, like, 2% criminal class that are allowed to do anything they want and are protected by the rich and powerful and our judiciary. We are functionally oppressed by the poor with the permission of the rich, unfortunately.
Prejudice plus power bullshit really one shot.
Oh, she said the same thing I just did.
Only a black child can be minding their business, get ambushed, bullied, and pushed around and become the aggressor for protecting himself.
Hey, the knockout game called.
But he was quite literally not minding his own business. He was in a rival's team tent and was asked to leave like a dozen times. Witnesses say he started
Nice pause, that was a
escalating
good
it into a
face.
fight and then stabbed someone in the fucking heart. That's not minding your business.
What do you mean? That is minding your own business. The whitey deserved it. Jesus Christ.
They hired that horrible lawyer. Had to be the worst defense in history. Absolutely no reason Karmelo shouldn't have testified. We gotta do better with who we hire to represent us. Plenty of black lawyers in Texas. His family raised like $1 million on GoFundMe and then blew it all on a new house and a fucking Cadillac. So then they had to get a public defender. That baby was sentenced to
Supposedly for the trial that happened, they did not have a public defender. Sarah Fields corrected that a few times because she was saying that a lot of people were claiming that Karmelo had a public defender. He did not. However, After his conviction and with the appeal, he has to get a public defender for that. He has claimed that he is now destitute and he needs a public defender provided by the state for his appeals. But for the actual sentencing, he did not have a public defender. It was a paid lawyer.
35 years? I love the community note. That murderer was sentenced to 35 years. Black people, please carry more than a pocket knife. Get their asses before they can get you. What the hell?
Sometimes, like, I've already seen, obviously, a lot of the people talking with this rhetoric on Twitter and especially, like, gone over it on stream, but it's like, how? How do they just believe things that are functionally untrue? It's like the meme of, like, you can just make up Black history and they'll believe it, like, haha, that's funny. But, like, I'm seeing in real time that, like, no, they just make up shit and then believe it. That's no longer haha, funny, silly joke. That's like, this is the reality I live in. Why is this happening?
What do you mean get their asses before they can get you? That's literally what Karmelo did. He got Austin's ass. He killed him. Why the fuck are they acting like Karmelo was the one who died? 35 years on your first offense is over sentencing. Yeah, there has to be a retrial.
That's true. You gotta have a punch card, right? You're allowed a certain number of murders before you finally get sentenced for it. It's like when you get a free cheeseburger.
This is blatant injustice. First offense. And the offense in question is murder. Your Honor, it was only his first murder. 35 years ago, killing a Nazi got you a Purple Heart, but now that a German American is president, it gets you a life sentence. All white people deserve no mercy. Now,
that is an absolutely wild thing to say, and once again, they don't call you a Nazi because they think you are one. They call you a Nazi to mark you as an acceptable target for violence. And we are getting to the point where just you existing with white skin gets you called a Nazi. And if you existing with white skin gets you called a Nazi, and they only call you a Nazi in order to perpetuate violence against you, what do you think is going to happen?
Austin Metcalf, a 17-year-old, is a Nazi because he was white. Also, 35 years ago. Does this dude think World War II was in 1991?
Probably.
Black Americans, arm yourselves. This country is officially a terrorist state of white supremacists. You have no reason to abide by or follow any more laws in this country.
You know, her saying that actually reminded me. I would have to dig them out somewhere. But there were unironically Black people on Facebook around like 2016, 2018 kind of time frame. Talking about how Black people were the real victims in the Holocaust because more Black people were murdered by the Nazis than Jews. Originally, he thought Karmelo was a Black kid affected by hood culture he didn't live in. The way his family and community act around the case, it's a level of hostility that feels even beyond Black Panther standards. Yeah, like even for like a Black supremacist organization, like this stuff coming out is crazy.
Law enforcement and these politicians are all terrorists. Let it all fall. Time for judgment.
What the
Just as I
fuck?
suspected. Schizophrenia. I recommend logging the f off. Do these people just live in a completely different reality?
Yes,
a guy
they
gets
do.
put in prison for murder, and they're like, wow, what's the point of even following the law anymore? Having a black son gotta be the tops of fears. I'm going insane. It was the white son that was murdered. Why are they acting like the black son was murdered?
They're not acting like the Black son was murdered. They're acting upset because there were consequences for murdering a white boy. In their minds, there should not be any consequences for murdering a white boy. You are basically lesser than an animal. Like, if you run over a possum who's in the middle of the road with your car, you don't get arrested, right? That's the same logic that they're running on. Karmelo stabbing Austin Metcalf is like you running over a possum in the middle of the road. It has no consequences. There should be no consequences.
Why are you scared of having a black son in this context? Oh, I'm so scared my son will stab someone and go to jail one day. Like, what? What? It's only self-defense when a black kid dies. Literally, multiple witnesses, including black witnesses, including Karmelo's own friends, said that Karmelo was the aggressor in the situation. Also, just in general, murder is not the acceptable punishment for a shove, for a push. That's not how that
And in the video, as grainy as it was, you could see that it was a very light tap, like a, hey, get out of our tent, man. You're not supposed to be here. And he didn't fall or anything. He barely stumbled backwards and then immediately stabbed him in the fucking heart. And then cried crocodile tears afterwards. Like, what the fuck?
Works. 50,000 likes on that bullshit, by the way. 50,000 people saw that and were like, hell yeah. Black kids are the only kids who can't afford to make mistakes without dire consequences. Your Honor, it was a mistake. My client did a little oopsie poopsie, a little fucky wucky ooh woo, if you will. Black people
It was just a little heckin' murderino. It was just a white boy. Nothing of value surely was lost, Your Honor.
held to a higher standard than every other race. We are expected to be perfect, while others
See, again, this is the attitude that you get when you are used to being treated in a privileged manner. Black people have enjoyed privileges in hiring, in college admissions, in law. They've enjoyed privileges, and when they're held to a similar standard as everyone else, they see it as oppression. It's fucking crazy. Not all black people, mind you. There's tons of fucking sane ones, but like these ones that have this opinion of like, oh, a black kid was sentenced to prison for murder? That's being held to a higher standard than everyone else. Fucking what are you talking about? Whenever I say that, I feel like fucking Bobby from King of the Hill. What are you talking about?
are given grace, excuses, and... Hey, stop. Just a reminder that this is all in context of the Karmelo Anthony situation. So the held to a higher standard, in this case, the higher
There's
standard...
tons of sane ones. I as soon as I said that, I was like, that's gonna be taken out of context. People are gonna be like, Kirsche thinks all black people are crazy. I was like, that's not what I was saying. Fuck you.
of do not stab people. I'm sorry, okay, go on. One mistake by a black person gets used to judge an entire community. Oops, I fell and my knife accidentally stabbed
It's like, it's also not even being used to judge an entire community. We're judging Karmelo Anthony, and then we see the people like these crazy ones defending Karmelo Anthony, living in a literal alternate fucking reality, and we're judging them by their craziness. What do you mean?
your heart.
Austin fell onto Carmelo's knife trying to attack him because the knife is 3.5 inches. The cut was only 2.
I'm crashing out.
I'm told that 3.5 inches is actually relatively big. You know, like that's a really nice size actually. He fell on the fucking knife. Sometimes white boys just fall on knives. Just like sometimes women just crawl into the back of Teslas and behead themselves and tie themselves in a trash bag. That just happens sometimes, you guys.
I'm crashing the f out. Please let the next one be somewhat rational.
I'm
Y'all
so sorry.
gentlemen are so fucking dumb. Y'all really thought that he was gonna get away with stabbing that kid to death. I can tell a lot of you were raised by hoes. Finally, a normal, sane person. A strong black father tells you early that you can't get away with the same shit whites do. Oh, god damn it. Had me in the first half. White people get away with stabbing.
This is again like whenever you make a tweet when there's like a migrant rapist and you're like, yeah, kill that guy. Kill that rapist. Get him the fuck out of here. So some leftist always inevitably is like, but what about the white rapist? You kill them too. Otherwise, I'm not going to defend a white rapist if there's proof that he is a rapist. If you've got him on camera, if you've got his DNA, if you've got proof, right? We have proof of these migrant rapists and they're being either like let off or just being like, oh, we can't deport them. That would be mean. Yeah, no, kill him. Fucking kill him. I don't care. If there's proof that he is the rapist and he has committed the rape, kill him. Execute him. What are we doing? I don't care about their race. And the fact that leftists will bring that up like, but what about this white rapist? What the fuck about him? I feel the same.
What is this? Where do these people live? Earth 2?
Yes.
Culture. When you get called for jury duty, do that shit. Make sure you
I've been
do
saying
your
that for
part in
years.
serving justice. Every black defendant in every court everywhere is Karmelo Anthony. Every
Did he just say that every black defendant in every court everywhere is actually guilty and the only way to make sure that they don't go to jail rightfully is to get on the jury and poison it?
Yes.
That's a weird thing to say. That's a very strange thing to admit.
black defendant in every court everywhere is Karmelo Anthony. Every black defendant in every court case everywhere is a murderer. Are you sure that's what you want to go with? I love how he's basically like, go do jury duty.
It's like how the transgender activists try to claim the video game characters that have been like abused and groomed into hiding their biological sex, and they're like, that one's ours, that one's trans. We want the one that was groomed and abused. That's good representation.
You can go blindly support any black person regardless of what they did. What the like, I don't support every white person. Some of you are dumb.
Exactly.
This wasn't even like a cop kills black guy thing where like there might be some debate about like police brutality and over.
I think one of the craziest things about like all of this nonsense happening recently is that like after George Floyd, so many people, myself included, were talking about Tony Timpa. And then after Henry Novak, there were leftists who were like, nobody cared about Tony Timpa. Fuck you! Fuck all the way off, you disingenuous commie fuck.
Policing and things like that. No. This was just straight up a black kid stabbed a white kid. And they're losing their minds because he's going to prison over it. Fascinating.
Karmelo Anthony had been white, not only would he have not been convicted, there'd have never been charges. The only reason Karmelo Anthony was convicted...
Is this what a leftist would call a race traitor? Is that... How could Doug Dimmadome do this?
It was because we are a broken, fucking bigoted country, and Karmelo Anthony was black.
Wow, thanks for the input, gay Colonel Sanders. I fucking hate the Yellowstone hicklib bit. Oh, I'm a big, tough country cowboy. Y'all better not say damn slurs around here. Yeehaw! Wow, just freaking wow. Disgusting.
Oh,
this is
I
not
showed this
justice.
tweet. Fucking
This is trying to
Cardi
make
B,
an
dude.
example. Dear white people, don't let this verdict fool you. You'll still get fucked up playing the Austin games. Don't let
What?
this verdict of a guy who stabbed someone fool you. You're still gonna get stabbed. What? Strong suspicion that a lot of pro-Karmelo stuff I see here is some psyop. Bro, this is what I tried to tell myself for like 6 years about the online left. It's all a CIA psyop.
It's hard for people to come to terms with the fact that, yes, yeah, evil people just exist. People who don't live in reality just exist. And it's hard to come to terms with it, especially for like autistic people, because we're like, well, we need to understand why they're like this. You're never gonna understand because it's nonsensical. It doesn't make sense. You can't rationalize why these people are fucking crazy. They're just fucking crazy. I wish it was a psyop so I could just ignore it and go about my day, but it's not.
From the billionaires to make leftism look as unappealing as possible to the working class.
That's a good point. Look at that. The leftist extremists are real and the far-right extremists are all feds and the SPLC. That's a good fucking point. Well, we've been trying to be like, surely this is a psyop. Surely these people aren't real. The left has been funding the terrorism on the right. The left has been making the issues with right-wing terrorism with the SPLC, with USAID, with funding like the KKK and shit. We've been like, please let us believe in your humanity, while the left is like, yeah, we need to fight the demons. Ah!
Bro. Of course an all-white jury found a black boy guilty for defending himself.
They weren't an all-white jury! Reality is a psyop to make the left look bad. What's that fucking quote that's been going around on Twitter? Like, how dare the people on the right use reality to reinforce their worldviews or some shit?
Fuck you racist white pieces of shit. Fuck you racist white pieces of shit. That sounds extremely racist. Black people can't be racist, stupid hoe.
I don't know how many videos Shu has done about the VTuber community, but there's a lot of VTubers, and like Rev has shown so many receipts for this shit. There's that one like fucking, what is it, Singaporean, Indonesian? I don't know, some like Southeast Asian femboy. I like, anytime he posts something, his comments are just filled with people posting the like a tweet of him from years ago saying you can't be racist to white people. I was like, there's so many VTubers that believe that. And it kind of gives the air, like there's a lot of people who are like, VTubing is inherently left-wing. And it's like, well, yeah, there's a lot of VTubers who are like lefty. Some of them won't obviously talk about it because they make their content neutral. But this gives the air to people looking from the outside in that like VTubing is this like corrupt leftist sphere. And that's just not true.
It was not an all-white jury. There were Asian people, there were Hispanic people, and the black people, they did ask to do jury duty in this case, turned it down because they admitted they would be too biased. Like they
didn't even turn it down. They were cut. They were like, oh, I don't know how I'd feel about putting a brother in jail, and then they got cut. Like it wasn't even like recusing themselves. It was just like, well, you can't be here because you're biased then.
Literally said they would just vote not guilty because Karmelo is black. On one hand, I appreciate the honesty. On the other hand, what the f***?
And I mean, oh, she's playing the same video. I was just about to bring this up. I was like, I showed you guys the video of these like black podcasters saying that you shouldn't be honest, you should just lie about it. And it's like, if we already know from the Karmelo trial that people are biased and they're going to vote on racial lines, and I'm sure people older than us already knew that from what happened with O.J. Simpson, right? If you're now just encouraging people to lie about it, how are you going to be able to trust any black juror? This is the exact same process with which people began to be scrutinized with affirmative action and DEI hiring after affirmative action, right? How can you trust that this person is merited if you know that there is a process to get them elevated to a position that they're not qualified for? How are you going to trust black jurors to be fair and unbiased if you have black people saying, yeah, vote on racial lines, but don't tell them you're going to do that? You cannot have this jury system, this trial by a party of your peers, if people are going to vote on racial and ethnic lines. It has to be unbiased. It has to be race blind. It has to be on the merits of the actual case and the actions therein.
Say, can you be fair? Don't say, no, I'm not finna put a black man in jail. Don't say that. Don't say, I hate white people and I don't care what he did. Don't do that. That's what people were doing in this case. Okay. And then everybody's like in an uproar because there's no black people on the jury when damn near half of the black people who could have been on the jury canceled themselves out. You know, don't do that. Y'all be regular.
Overruled.
Just be regular.
Oh God.
That's right. Get in there and lie to the court so you can free a person because he murdered a white guy. Incredible stuff. Also, I like how they said, just be regular. Just be regular. Just get on the jury so you can free the murderer. Then return.
Once again, white people have spent quite a long time being dehumanized by institutions, by the government, by people wholesale, right? This dehumanization has an endpoint. And it seems like we are getting there very quickly. They say just be regular because you should just be allowed to kill a white person and face no consequences. That is the endpoint. That is the goal. That is why it is called regular.
To acting irregular. This case is really affecting me, making me want to go to law school and fight for my people. I'm sorry, I'm confused. Your people being murderers? Is that what you're talking about? Murder?
That is a very funny way to phrase it. I agree. And once again, if you have people entering the judiciary, like we see with activist judges now, who let off many criminals who then go on to terrorize the public, if you get more activists, you're over. You don't have a country anymore. You are ruled by whatever the activists desire for you to be ruled by. And we see how horrific this is right now, and it's only going to get worse unless we can get rid of activist judges, unless we can get them off the bench and replace them with actual judges. But how many actual judges do we actually have, right? If colleges have been indoctrination camps for ages, and if in some states you don't even need a degree or any kind of certificate to say that you can be a judge, what are we doing? How are we to get ourselves out of this mess? Even if we remove the activist judges, who is going to be there to replace them? How many non-activist judges do we even have at this point?
Your people being murderers. Also, if by some miracle you happen to get into law school, you'll be disappointed to find out that intentionally stabbing someone and killing them is in fact murder, regardless of what your skin color is. And there were some people coming at me like, oh, I bet you'll defend Chud the Builder. And like, first of all, who the f*** is Chud the Builder? This is...
You see, I know the name Chud the Builder, and I was like, oh, I have some tabs on him, and I never got to it because his Kiwi thread was fucking massive. I'm like, it's been so long, I have no idea what's going on with the Chud the Builder case, right? No idea. I saw on Twitter the other day a picture of like him kissing some transgender person, and it's like, well, that just makes sense, right? A racist Chud is either gonna have a brown wife or a transgender girlfriend. Like, it seems like there's no in between anymore.
This is how I know I'm getting old. They keep making these random fucking streamers in a vat overnight and then like, releasing them. Did you hear about-
Yeah, it's just like the fucking guy that hit his face with hammers. All he did was hit his face with hammers. And then he became like this big deal who was going to clubs and parties and streaming with like Sneeko and other weird fucking manosphere people. Like he just became like an overnight millionaire. And I agree with her. It feels like they're made in a fucking vat. What is this?
Pee-pee boy 57. Like, no,
Yeah,
I didn't.
pee-pee boy.
No, I didn't. I don't know who
Pee-pee
that
poo-poo
is.
piss
If
boy.
Chud the
That's
Builder killed
Bagman.
someone, or in this case, attempted to kill someone, then he should face consequences for that. Yes. Okay, your turn. Should Karmelo Anthony face consequences? No? Oh, that's weird. Looks like only one of us is the hypocrite here. See, I'm not like you. I have a functioning brain and an IQ of probably maybe over 100.
Molecular's the
I
world's
can look
first
at
male-to-male
things on a
transgender.
case-by-case
True and fucking
basis
real.
and not blindly support or attack something. Like a mindless drone. Let's go see what they're saying over on Blue Sky, shall we?
Oh, boy.
Fellow white people.
Blue Sky is like a cognito hazard. Anytime I am subjected to having to read Blue Sky posts, it's just like, I want to take the shoe approach and just believe that these people aren't real. Blue Sky is a psyop of nothing but different AI chatbots talking to each other. But unfortunately, I know that's not true.
Never mind. Never mind. I'm done. Bye. Stay out of black people's mentions about Karmelo Anthony. We are the reason not one black juror was seated. We are the reason that an appeal filed on those grounds will surely fail. We are the reason Jim Crow is once again law of the land.
What the fuck?
Oh my god! What has
Jim Crow laws are back because I couldn't murder a white boy!
this country come to when a man can't freely murder another man in cold blood and get away with it? Literally Jim Crow. Yeah, white people cannot be trusted after this trial with Karmelo Anthony. Honestly, that
What the
35-year
fuck?
sentence coming down on the teenager Karmelo Anthony felt like a proxy for a lynching. Karmelo Anthony defended himself against 2 white supremacists. Now that black people
Existing while being white is now white supremacy. What the fuck?
stand up for themselves, white fragility is taking over. They simply can't handle it. He saved himself from being lynched, and now he has to spend decades in prison. F***ing racist country.
What?
Huh? He was being lynched? Yes. Do these people live
That's
in
like when people ask, how is Kirsche a Nazi? And they just like make up more shit every day. Like I've seen some pretty fucking crazy examples, and I'm trying to like rack my brain. Cause like they've now like morphed. Like there was somebody recently saying that my name specifically is like a Nazi dog whistle. Not even like referencing the whole like lies about Anders Breivik and me naming a character after him in a MOBA, right? They've just gone to the Kirsche itself is a Nazi dog whistle. And people are just like, that's just the German word for cherry, bro. Like, what do you mean? And they're just like, yes, Nazi shit.
Netflix adaptation version of reality or something? What is going on? Stabby, jail. No stabby, no jail.
Look at this fucking white supremacist fascist thinking that stabby equals jail. How could she do this?
The only reason Karmelo was convicted is because he was black. If this was a white boy, there would never be charges files. I decree that the people who was involved with this case will begin to reap the unjust decision upon their own head to 1,000 generation. All you bigoted racist people. An all-white jury. Of course Karmelo Anthony would be convicted.
I think we need reparations at this point.
Not an all-white jury. Yes, an all-white jury. Stop trying to make excuses for racism.
Didn't you know that Asians are Schrodinger's minority? They're either white or not white, depending on how the left wants to use them.
Oh, no, not an all-white jury. Who are they trying to convince? Other people or themselves? Anyone defending Karmelo Anthony knows that they're not defending him in good faith. Karmelo is obviously guilty of a murder that he intentionally
a sane
instigated.
post?
Defending murders like this only hurts the black community. We need to hold ourselves accountable and hold ourselves to a higher standard. Oh my god, a normal person on Blue Sky. Bro,
That's
what are you
crazy.
doing?
How is he not
Get out of
banned?
there. Go, run! An all-white jury in Texas convicted Karmelo Anthony of murder. Proof that the US never ended the practice of lynching. They let the courts do it instead. You don't have to support what Karmelo Anthony did to recognize the problem with sentencing a child to spend 35 years in prison based off of the deliberations of an all-white jury. Said it again, award!
This all-white jury lie is going to become as prolific as Hands Up, Don't Shoot. We're gonna have to hear this for decades. It's not gonna stop.
Said it again, all-white jury! All-white jury! It's time to play Horseshoe Theory!
It's time to play Guess That Ethnicity!
Contestant number 1. Here is the tweet. Stop sending your kids to these race schools.
Oh, stop sending your kids to these black schools. Definitely a white supremacist.
Oh, I'm sorry. The tweet is stop sending your kids to these white schools. And it came from the account Dapper Domo, who is black.
I like how the contestant's name is Sadie N-word.
That's the joke.
Know what that means? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Into the pit! Stop bringing non-black people into black spaces.
What?
Teach your kids to defend themselves by any means possible.
Do you guys remember the colleges? Back when we thought peak woke had already been hit, the colleges who were like, black people need safe spaces from white people, and so there's going to be specific areas of these colleges that white people aren't allowed to go to. And this kind of came to a head where like one of those California colleges had like a full day where like white people weren't allowed on campus. And one of the teachers was like, hey, that's kind of fucked up. You probably maybe, I don't know, should let white people on campus. And then they attacked him for it. Do you remember that? Do you remember when that happened? Do you remember when all of us were like, why the fuck are black people trying to bring back segregation? And why is the media supporting it as if this is a good thing? I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Black kids in black spaces as much as possible. Keep your black children away from these devils.
Oh, that's my Twitch tag. I have the white devil Twitch tag. Yay!
If we had segregation still, none of this would have happened. He wouldn't have had no interactions with any white boy because we would have been in an all-black school.
We are going to reverse engineer segregation, aren't we?
We're reinventing segregation from first principles. It's also tiresome. One step forward, 400 years back.
But wokely. We don't want those evil white people drinking out of the same water fountain as us, am I right? Honestly, my honest, real opinion about this, my hot take of the video, everybody, here it comes. Lukewarm, microwaved, 4-day-old mac and cheese take, here it comes. If they want to go make their own, like, all-black schools, all-black towns, they should be allowed to. Go for it. Black people want to go create Wakanda? They should.
There's a giant co-op in Georgia that bought, I can't remember how many hundreds of acres, but it's pretty big. And it's a all black town. Like if you have a like non-black spouse, you have to get specific permission to have them be allowed in there because it's a black only space.
Be able to, but white people should be allowed to create Agartha. If people want to willingly segregate themselves,
I went there in Secret World Legends.
Do that. Dead ass. Who cares? Everyone else can live in a desegregated society. They can.
That's
go
also
have
a good question, right? Like if it's like yes, have clap, celebrate if black people make their own all black enclaves. The same question should arise if black people can do this, then so should white people, right? If white people wanted to make a all-white enclave, would that not be allowed under the same logic as all black people can make a all-black place, right? The logic would check out. If one is okay, the other should be okay, right?
Ethnostates. But you know, there's only one side that will not be able to do that. I always wondered though, let's say they do make a white ethnostate. What counts as white? Because 100 years ago, I would not have counted as white. I'm Ellis Island mystery meat. You know that.
I am also like Italian heritage, so I would not be counted as white.
Is there like a one-drop rule? Do they like whip out the eye chart at the gate?
One-drop rule
like,
was a thing.
A10s. You may enter. Is Brittany Venti allowed in the white ethnostate? Honestly,
no, she's a
like
fish
an honorary
person.
Aryan at this point. She white mogs me. Anyway, we are getting distracted. Where were we? Oh yes, hell.
True.
We were in hell. I'm black. I haven't stabbed anyone in the chest after being asked to leave a tent. I'm not in prison. I'm free. It's not hard to not commit a crime. Listen, I appreciate the sentiment here, but how did we get to a point where this is like a breath of fresh air?
So it's like, I'm black. I haven't stabbed anyone. Imagine having to introduce yourself like that. Hello, I am reasonable black men.
Let's check the replies. Hopefully people are agreeing. Shut your hoe ass up. Emmett Till didn't commit a crime either. What happened to him?
Oh my God.
You're not black. You're not black. You're a boy, you ain't black. You may be black, but you ain't black. Yes, because being black
you don't
is
vote for
supporting
Joe
all black
Biden,
people
you ain't
everywhere,
black.
regardless of what they have done. All the normal black people are just called like pick-me's. They're called pick-me's for having
Uncle
a brain
Toms.
and not going along with this race grievance bullshit. Every time like they speak out about this.
Wasn't there an instance recently of like some like leftist calling a black dude like the house N-word? And it's just like, bro, you are fucking crazy. What are you doing?
That kind of energy, like we should rip people apart from their families.
Are you a man?
Wow. Wow, is that a question?
Wow.
Okay. How do you feel about ripping people from their families? Does that feel good?
Fucking house.
Sir, I need to move you.
Working for the fucking KKK? What the fuck's wrong with you people?
Why are you calling a woman a man?
Sir,
I mean, what kind of a guy does that?
Please fucking help fucking neighbor. Go look for your fucking slave.
That's fucking wild. It's even more wild when you think about if you had said the N-word, much like Shiloh Hendricks said the N-word, you would have your life attempted to be ruined. You would be fired, you would be dragged through the court system, you would have to defend yourself for saying a fucking word in a country where we supposedly have free speech. Yet a leftist can call a black man to his face a house N-word and mean it virulently, and nothing happens. They have no consequences. It's perfectly fine. It's a nice, happy little N-word when they say it, but when you say it, well, you're basically Hitler.
Called the C word, you know what I mean? The term for this animal. Is that a slur? Like, I know what that's like to a degree. Granted, it's over me making fun of, like, women on TikTok. But, like, I know what it's like watching people in your community act like fucking morons. I feel you.
Yeah.
My brothers. Oh my god.
I might not be black, but I do have to deal with dumb shit women often. You know? I get it.
Editor. Edit that out. Edit that out. By the way, if you want an uncensored, uncucked version of this video and all the videos a day early, sign up to be a member on my Patreon. Link down below. All Patreon members get the uncensored, uncucked version. You can hear me say fucking shit and anyway, let's get back to the video.
I just say that anyway. I don't give a fuck.
A racist ass country. We're in a racist ass state. This is a racist ass court. There ain't nothing else to talk about.
First of all, I forgot what I was gonna say. I just.
Her tits
I'm gonna
are
be
massive,
completely honest
I know.
with you. I was staring at her titties the whole time. Those are giant titties.
Yeah, she's just like my
courthouse, and
mom.
any white person can get it for real. I don't give a fuck. Fuck it. Dig Austin Metcalf up and stab his ass again. Apparently, a bunch of people on TikTok are doing the Austin Bop, where they dance to a song made about Austin Metcalf's murder.
They were doing this about Charlie Kirk as well.
While reenacting the stabbing.
Austin Bop, knife had blood on the tip when he dropped. How the fuck you gonna stop me? Going out back, Marlo out the box.
They were also making AI photos of themselves pissing on Austin's.
See, I showed this off, and like they found the guy who did this, I guess. Like they didn't even make AI images of like other people pissing on the graves. They made AI versions of themselves pissing on the grave. So it's like, what are you doing?
Grave. You know, I was always told not to judge people by the color of their skin.
True.
But by the content of their character.
True.
And boy, am I judging these people by the content of their character.
If you're going to make AI images pissing on a grave, you're probably not a good person. Just saying.
What the f? These people are freaks. Martin Luther King Jr. would be rolling in his grave looking at all this. Karmelo Anthony, a black teenager, has been sentenced to 35 years in prison after being convicted by a jury with no black jurors. Oh god, here we go again. No black jurors. Who is this moron? Who is this idiot? Oh! Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter. Wonderful.
I hope Shu brings up the other Martin Luther King relative that I brought up, because she came with a hell of a fucking clapback. And I think that absolutely deserves to be shown.
Awesome. I'm done. It's been a good 12 years, but I'm done. Channel's done. Video's over. This officially broke me. I'm done. Go watch Moist Critical. Go watch
Moist Critical.
And right off the bat, man, free Karmelo.
She didn't, ball dropped. Oh, that's so disappointing. As bad as that tweet is from one of the descendants of Martin Luther King Jr., the other one is very fucking sane. The other one was very sane.
Straight up, I don't give a fuck about no.
If you're a European and you tried to draw this guy, you would be arrested for racism.
White lies. F that cracker. We smoking on that Austin Pat. I don't care anymore because it ain't no good in this shit. It ain't nothing good that's in this shit. But they trying to lay the law down. All that shit. Y'all gotta give it up. Y'all gotta give it up.
Like, I don't care anymore because it ain't no good in that shit. It ain't nothing good that's in this shit. But they try to lay the law down up that shit. Y'all gotta give it up. Y'all gotta give it up.
Thank you, Porky Pig.
Beautifully said. Thank you, sir.
There isn't a black American on earth that is surprised by what just happened to Karmelo Anthony. Not one.
If you asked me to draw a communist terrorist, this is what I would draw. Like this is just the most communist terrorist fashion I could think of.
One black face in that jury box, not one peer, not one person who has ever navigated this.
The peers are supposed to be your countrymen. They're your peers because they're your fellow citizens, not your fellow skin color. Dear racist retard.
This country in melanated skin. And if you think that doesn't matter, then you haven't been paying attention to the last 400 years of American history because you don't want to. This is not new. This is the system working exactly as it was designed.
First of all, the Black Panther LARP is cringe. It's gotta go. This isn't the 1960s. You aren't protesting segregation. You're making a fucking TikTok video, okay? Second of all, this is the system working exactly how it was designed. Yeah, I'd hope. When you kill someone, you go to jail. Like, am I missing something? It was actually a refreshing change.
We're coming to scary times where people are genuinely believing you should be able to murder someone based on the color of their skin and get away with it.
That the system was working for once. I'm tired of waking up to headlines like, man who raped corpse on subway gets 5 years in jail. Like, I'm not kidding, that was like a real...
Migrant rapist gets 12 weeks community service and is paid extra money in for having committed... Like, it's the barrage of these news titles. It fucking wears on you, all right? Like, people ask me all the time, like, Kirsche, how do you continue to read this shit and not go insane? And the answer is, like, it's fucking hard, bro. It's fucking hard, but I've had a ridiculous fucking life. So I have like a pretty chunky HP bar when it comes to mental damage. So I can incur quite a bit of it without losing my fucking mind. But it's also why I've been playing video games more, because holy shit, I am actually losing it. There is so much allowed to continue that just should not be tolerated, and so many people continuing to tolerate it, and I don't know where the fucking stopping point is, man.
The real headline I saw the other day.
I'ma say it since nobody else can say it. Austin. Glad your ass dead. Austin, fuck his family, and I hope they get this message to have a up day in here, Austin. I hope you over there.
He's wearing a drive-through headset. So hopefully he's been fired from his fast food job.
I'm so proud of y'all for kicking that white boy. See, they not used to this happening to them, y'all.
They not used to this shit happening to them, y'all. Let's bring up those rape and murder statistics of black on white crime versus white on black crime, shall we? Tell them about per capita. Shall we bring... I know per capita is a very difficult concept for people on the left to understand, but you know.
My only problem is it should happen more. Can we please pick a day where we just f***ing white people up? Matter of fact, I wish I knew where the little white boy grave was so I can go spit on that bitch.
How the f*** are any of these videos still up? There were so many of these videos. Are these people...
Because it's allowed. It's allowed. Again, the dehumanization of white people has gone on for so long that this is just normal. This is okay. This is not hate speech. This is not wishing violence on other people. Because white people have become lesser than animals. This is okay. This is the mainstream thought process. It shouldn't be this way. It's fucked up. But this is where we are right now. And you have to live in where we are right now instead of wishing it were different.
Like CIA psyops? I'm doing it again. No. This got so bad that people were actually going out and assaulting white people to get revenge. Yeah. Obviously, I can't show these videos, but there were multiple instances
I showed this video
of this. These people...
I showed multiple videos of them being like, you were on the jury, and they're like, no, I'm not. And it's like, well, we don't care. You're white anyways. You might as well have been on the jury. It's fucking stupid. It's insane. It is being used as an excuse to just attack white people.
Live in a delusional alternate reality.
They do.
And they're becoming radicalized to take revenge for shit that isn't even happening. But like every other week, I have to read another stupid New York Times article about how like 20-year-old white boys are being radicalized into the alt-right because they watch Jordan Peterson or something.
They're being radicalized by watching reality unfold around them. They don't need Jordan Peterson. They don't need Alex Jones. They don't need fucking Asmongold to read them the news. It's fun. It can be fun. But they don't need that. They just need to look out fucking side, man.
Like, f*** you. And like, people have been so brainwashed to believe that they're racist because they post like edgy memes. No, you're not f***ing racist with your 4chan memes.
No.
These people are racist.
But they need to create the culture of you're racist for your jokes and memes. Meanwhile, they feel righteous in their racism because that's part of the control, right? They need to keep the power to cut you away from financial institutions. They need to be able to call you racist, call you Nazi, call you a white supremacist, to get you fired, to get your sponsors to drop you, to get companies afraid to work with you, to remove you from banks, to remove you from PayPal. They need this power in order to disenfranchise you to a great degree. And what happens? What happens when you're broke and you're disenfranchised? You can't vote your way out of this. They kill you.
You're like a level 1, maybe level 2 racist. These are like level 9 racists. You have no idea what racism is. I've seen your friend groups. Racist friend groups do not care what race you are, as long as you are also racist.
I remember that meme back in the day of like the Huffington Post editorial board being all white women. And it was like Huffington Post versus a poll meetup, and the poll meetup was like mostly brown.
These people are significantly more racist than you will ever be. Hell, even the KKK, level 10 racists, wore hoods to conceal their identity. These people—
And the KKK level 10 racists are being paid by leftist places like the SPLC. They're the level 10 racists, man. You'd argue friend group sucks if it ain't racist, right? You know you're good friends when you can make racist jokes towards each other, and you know it's funny and not from a place of hate. You know? Love pointing out the fact that the KKK was created by the Democratic Party to control the black population. Hey, let's look into the background of Planned Parenthood too while we're at it, right?
People are out here posting this full government name and face.
I got 5 boys. I don't know why. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more.
I deadass got
I've said this before. These leftists say these insane, crazy, racist, hateful, violent things with full government name and face because they've never had to deal with needing OPSEC. Their opinions are not only permitted by the mainstream, they're applauded. They're allowed to say hateful, racist, violent things with their full government name and picture because it's okay. They're allowed to do it. You cannot tell jokes without having like 7 fucking proxies because you'll get fired for it. They don't understand that because their violence is permitted while your jokes are not.
Look at my sweet innocent son one day and explain to him that people hate us simply because we were born black.
That's really funny. Like whenever I see like any variation of that tweet, it just makes me think of fucking, oh god, what was his first name? His last name was Derbyshire. Was it John? Was it John Derbyshire? Was that his name? Or he was like, the conversation that you need to have with your white son or some shit?
What am I supposed to tell my son? I don't fucking know. Not to kill people? Like, okay, sorry. I don't know what it's like to be black, okay? I don't know. Maybe it's a completely different experience that I will never understand. But in this case, nobody is hating Karmelo because he is black.
True.
They're hating Karmelo
because he's a fucking murderer.
Someone. I basically said this on Twitter and some liberal account was like, remember when Shu was a leftist?
That's really funny. Shu's no longer a leftist because she doesn't think white people should be murdered for no reason. Wow. That's crazy. What a fascist.
Yes, the famous leftist policy, being pro-murder. I remember back when Shoe on Head was pro-murder. Silly me, how could I fall so far? Leftism isn't about wealth.
The subtitle spelled Shu is S-H-U, and I immediately saw her as, like, Chinese.
Equality or workers' rights, no. It's about letting black people stab white people, clearly. To be completely honest, I have seen what being a good leftist is to you people, and with all due respect, you fucking no thank you.
Yeah. We also know now that yes,
the
Karmelo
fuck is
Anthony
this bitch
may have had
wearing?
a tool in his backpack that no, he shouldn't have brought it to a track meet, but it was there. It had a 3.5-inch blade, but also in that backpack, he had snacks. He had school puzzles, and he had a cross.
Your Honor, yes, the defendant may have had a knife, but he
was also functionally retarded and needed snacks and puzzles, so therefore, let my defendant go.
Also had Cool Ranch Doritos. I rest my case. Real lawyer, by the way. That woman is a real lawyer. There were thousands and thousands of videos and tweets just like this. You probably get the point. These weren't just like cherry picked. They were everywhere. But it wasn't just Twitter nobodies and blue sky nobodies. There was also sitting Congress people saying this insane shit.
Black women live in fear and agony every single day.
From who?
A fear and agony that I promise you, the Metcalfs probably never spent a day living that way.
Yes, someone's teenage son was murdered.
You don't think the brother who had his brother die in his arms felt any of that? You don't think the campaign of harassment he felt after his brother died? You don't think he felt any of that? You don't think that twin has been radicalized beyond anything any of us could imagine?
But please keep in mind the real victims here. Black women.
I don't know what he had. It was like
white boy killed senselessly for no reason. Black women most affected.
It seemed like it was a multi-tool, almost like a Swiss Army.
Like with like with the little scissors and everything and whatever. So it was small.
Your Honor, the knife my client used to kill the man was small. What? By the way, I've not seen a single Democrat.
You know, that might actually work, right? Because in Sweden, they let a rapist off because the rape didn't last long enough. So maybe if the dick isn't long enough, did the rape really happen? You know, if he was only 2 inches inside of you, that's not really that much. You know, the vagina can take a lot more than that. That's not a real rape. I can see the logic, chat. If I mush my brain up with a blender.
Come out and disavow this idiot. So until then, I'm just going to assume they all agree. What's funny is they can't come out and disavow it because they'll all be attacked and called racist, and they know
Your
it.
Honor,
This was a viral Substack
repeat.
written by a university professor. Are you ready for this? Dear Jeff Metcalf, your son is dead because you failed to teach him that black...
We read this on stream too. This was fucking wild to read.
Boys have boundaries. Yesterday evening, Jeff Metcalf, the father of Austin Metcalf, used his victim impact statement to address Karmelo Anthony directly after he was sentenced to 35 years after the court treated his act of survival as murder. The elder Metcalf reportedly described Austin as a boy, twin, son, leader, true warrior. He remembered him as a baby grabbing his finger. He talked about teaching him to fish, watching him take his first buck, and seeing him grow up too fast. He spoke of a scholarship created in Austin's memory, and said his family has been robbed. And right there, his own words, Jeff Metcalf told on himself. In your own memorial language, you told us about the kind of white boyhood Austin was raised inside. It was a boyhood steeped in conquest language. Hunting.
That's conquest language? That's just an average, like, childhood. What?
Rituals, warrior fantasies, masculine toughness, and the romance of force. You told us about a child praised for not just being kind, curious, gentle, or careful, but for becoming a leader and a warrior in a racist culture where those words too often mean dominance. This
absolute
psycho
retardation.
saw a grieving father describe his son as a leader and a warrior and freak the f out because his son is white and therefore that's like white supremacy or some shit. In their world, white people are like only allowed to hate themselves.
No, once again, this is like the two-pronged issue with the commies and the Marxists taking over everything, right? Feminists are there to demasculinize all of the men. And since they could also use racial lines in America to also do this, they could demasculinize white men even further by exploiting that. So white men have had the double-pronged, you need to be less masculine as a racial factor, as well as you need to be less masculine from the feminists. This has resulted in so many strange femboys praising Hitler. I don't understand it.
Right? That's why libs are often the way that they are, just like absolute cucks, just like rolling over and showing their bellies. Haha, white people can't dance. Haha, white people, like, they don't season their food. Because being anything other than...
Demasculinitize. Let me create words. It's fun.
That gets you treated like this. Reminder that this is a professor in a college teaching students right now, and you wonder why people are the way that they are. I swear we had it made in the 90s. I swear that was like peak normalcy. Do you feel that way? Maybe I'm just
it was peak normalcy because we were sold the lie that we're going to have a post-racial future, that everything is going to be great, nobody's going to see race anymore, there's not going to be any more like horrific discrimination or anything. Meanwhile, they were pushing through all of the like reverse racism program, the affirmative action kind of nonsense. They were doing racist things at the time while telling all of us, hey, let's not be racist. We're going to live in harmony. It's going to be wonderful. Most people in America ate that shit up. And then we found out that only some of us actually believed in that future and everybody else kind of smugly laughed at, hey, we're just going to kill you when you think you're going to achieve that.
Stupid millennial like nostalgia because I was a child back then and didn't know. I don't know. I kind of feel like race relations were better back then because it was all like, oh, we don't see color. And then they flipped it and they were like, actually, if you don't see color, you're racist. You have to acknowledge your white privilege and you're a colonizer. Like, what the I feel like my worldview's just been shattered. Like, what do you mean?
It is.
What do you mean? We can't.
It is, and it's hard to grapple with that because it's like that's what I want. That's what we all wanted. We wanted like the pure. You get into college, you get hired based on merit, nobody sees color, we're all just fucking humans hanging out in a country. It doesn't matter if you're like black, white, Asian, some kind of mystery meat mixed mutt like she said at the beginning, right? It doesn't fucking matter because we're all fucking Americans at the end of the day, right? Right? That's what we wanted.
And just all be in a circle and sing Kumbaya. What is this? Like, I was always taught from my parents, from my teachers, like, we shouldn't judge people on their skin color, blah, 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 blah. And, like, were these people just not taught that? Were they not taught that? I feel like they were just taught
They were taught that, but they were like, why the fuck would we do that? They're like, why the fuck would we agree to do that?
A young age, like, white people bad, like, was just hammered into their fucking heads. And, like, honestly, like, white people get told that in, like, university. Like, they go to college and they get told, white people bad, white people bad. It's really upsetting that a family had to bury their child, and it's all being overshadowed by insane people trying to make it about race. In a normal world, it wouldn't be about race, but we don't live in a normal world. I would like to believe a majority of people don't believe in some, like, Civil War, race war thing and still believe in the Kumbaya bullshit. Like, I just want to be like, okay, this is just a minority of crazy people on the internet. At least that's what I tell myself.
I wish I could believe that.
So that was that video. Hopefully you got some enjoyment out of my brain breaking. If you like this video,
I like her bit where she like reaches over and grabs the camera because it's like, thank you. I needed someone to grab my shoulder and give me reassurance before I spin out of my chair into outer space from the anger I feel at Clown World bullshit. It like takes down the anger a notch. Like, thank you, friend.
video, please subscribe, and if you can, donate to my Patreon, link down below. We have started doing Patreon only live streams. The last one was a lot of fun, so I would love to see you there at the next one. And I will see you guys soon with a new video.
She's got bisexual lighting on her end card. How could she do this?
Yes, I may have murdered someone, but you're racist, and that's worse.
True! True! You can literally murder someone, but that's not as bad as being a heckin' racerino telling a joke!